Today we're going to show you some of the Pinnacle Health Informatics Enterprise Business and Intelligence components that ride on top of the Pinnacle Enterprise Data Warehouse. It all starts with SQL Server from Microsoft, using the analysis server components, the reporting services, and of course the core SQL Server. We go to reporting services where we can start our journey. We build our dashboards here, a lot of visualizations. We use SQL Server 2008 R2 Report Builder 3.0 with all of its new features to build dashboards and reports. We also can use Visual Studio 2010 and utilize the features in that. Of course, these are Pinnacle components that integrate fully with Profiler using the Pinnacle Data Warehouse and the accompanying products. Of course, the foundation for everything is the Enterprise Data Warehouse for Profiler. It's been in production since 2010, and we're using all the capabilities of OLAP and the multidimensional data warehouse to provide 7 cubes, most all reporting requirements. So right now we're going to launch Report Builder. We're going to show you a few things about that right now. We're going to connect up to the report server. We're going to do a blank report. We're going to show you a little bit about inserting some of the components into the report. So you go to design a dashboard and you have a rich palette of gauges and charts to draw from in Report Builder. So we're going to take a look at some of these. You see they have column charts, line charts, shape charts, bar charts, area charts, range charts, scatter and polar charts. Pretty much everything you need to build rich, interactive, immersive dashboards is here. Gauges, all the fancy stuff. This is a lot of these are a lot of components that were licensed from Dundas a few years ago, so they're best in class data visualizations. So we're going to go in, we're going to look at also the data bars and spark lines, two very powerful features in SQL reporting services. Here we have spark lines, columns, areas. Very easy and fast to summarize data and trends in your SQL reporting environment. We also have access to indicators, so we can show trends or alerts or notify people of opportunities or exceptions in reports. So a very, very rich palette to draw from in SQL reporting services. You can also use the report gallery for easy drag and drop, very flexible report building. Visual Studio is kind of the tool for experienced developers, whereas Report Builder 3.0 is intended for ad hoc reporting. And you can see how easy it is. Users can get in, they can select gauges, charts, graphs. They can go to the report gallery. Here the user has taken a bullet chart over for productivity, and then they're going to add a legend here. All these components have been pre-built and are available to the end user to. As you can see with Report Builder 3.0, very easy to create reports in a very custom environment. In just a few seconds you can drag report parts over that have been pre-built from the SQL Reporting Services report gallery, and you can create a custom report. Here we see we're dragging components over into the frame. From the report gallery we have some breakouts of client diagnosis by provider time. We can drag in some other components. Very fast, very easy in an ad hoc reporting environment. So using SQL reporting services against the Pinnacle Data Warehouse and against the Pinnacle cubes especially, very custom, very fast, very easy to do ad hoc reporting for end users. All of these report components are pre-built. All the data connections are pre-built. Everything comes over automatically, dragged in the frame. This user has chosen some treatment plans coming due in the next 14 days, as well as some overdue treatment plans. We can add drill downs. All of that is automatically pre-built. We can add a title to this report, and in just a few short minutes, an end user can create an ad hoc report. We'll go in now and say a user wants to build a report from the ground up. This is also very easy to do in the Pinnacle OLAP cube environment, where all of the cubes and calculations and measures have been pre-built. A user can go in and using the Report Builder wizard, they can select a pre-built data connection to the OLAP multidimensional data source. And then they can easily drag and drop any of the pre-made measures or dimensions over into the visual query designer. Now again, this is all done in MDX, which is the multi-dimensional expression language of Microsoft, which is the powerful analytical language designed to use with OLAP cubes. And it's all visual, all very easy to build. We can very easily bring over fiscal year, provider hours, month start date, any of the measures, any of the dimensions that are in the cubes can easily be brought in and rendered in a query. So we're going to build this visual query. It'll execute right there very, very fast because it is going against the cubes where everything is pre-aggregated in the cube. And once we have the query the way we like it with all of our filters and all of our parameters, then we can easily go to the next step. Here we're bringing in cost center full name as a filter and as a measure and a dimension in our visual MDX query. So that looks good. We're getting to the point where we can now go to the next step, and we've built our visual query. Now we can easily select any type of chart. That's a line chart. We can select the values from our OLAP query from the list. We can group on anything we'd like. We can show values. All very easy to do. Microsoft envisions that their business intelligence stack will be end user friendly. It will allow powerful ad hoc reporting without the intervention of IT at every level. With IT involvement, it creates a lot more wait time, and it is more difficult to get the data to the people who need to make decisions in a timely manner. Therefore, speed and agility is extremely important. Here, very quickly, we've connected to a report that we've created using the Report Builder wizard in SQL Reporting Services. So we'll go ahead and we'll run this report. We've created parameters for fiscal year, so we can select the current fiscal year. We can select a provider of our choosing, and then of course we can select all or a single cost center. So there's our report right now. Very easy to build, very quick, all in an ad hoc environment designed for ease and end user interaction. So using the cubes, almost an instant return on investment because of the speed and the agility of the reporting platform. So we have the data warehouse, but then we also have the very fast, very flexible cube layer where 95% of data can be found. Again, we can run these completely out of Profiler natively. Here we are in Profiler in the native graphical user interface. Here's a productivity dashboard. We're just going to go ahead and run that. We're going to read that OID from that user. There's our Pinnacle report viewer. We're going to go ahead and launch that. This again is running against cubes, so it's very fast. We've combined data from the billing and time clock system here, so we have year-to-date available time. We have the time that they've been paid out of the time clock and position control system. We have last year's time. We're doing a year-over-year comparison, and of course the contractual hours. So a very, very insightful, very powerful graph in a very small space. We can have drill downs on these reports as we run these right out of Profiler with further drill downs. So this one is a caseload report that then drills down several levels. We see here too that we have lots of interesting visualizations that we've brought over. Each of these can be integrated into the report using a self-service drag and drop architecture. So these dashboards can be built by the end users and deployed into the Profiler environment if we so choose. All of these have drill downs, treatment plans coming due in the next 14 days, currently unsigned service, overdue treatment plans. All of these, they have multiple levels for deep insight into data. So SQL Reporting Services and Report Builder 3.0 provides a powerful ad hoc reporting environment where you can build easy custom reports, and the end users don't really have to know about the complex technical details. It's simply a drag and drop environment. Pinnacle Stack also enables you to browse the cube data very, very easily, which leads potentially to thousands of possible reports, all in one interface. Here we're looking at the Pinnacle Health Informatics Web Queuebrowser against our Combined Services Cube. Here we have all of our dimensions, hundreds of them, and all of our measures available, and they can all be changed on the fly. And we're going to be looking at year-over-year productivity, or really any measure you want to look at. Here are our productivity measures. We can look at any of these measures. We can switch the view at any time, all through a web browser. So we have dozens and dozens of measures. We have unduplicated counts. We have regular measures. We have productivity measures. We can switch the view of the web Queuebrowser at any time on either rows or columns. So right now we want to switch to provider hours. So we're now going to see provider hours. And as our measure, we're going to be looking at location, cost center by service item, and then our slicer is the payer type, and we're looking at all. We can swap rows with the filter. So again, we can pivot the data, get a whole new view of the data, and increase our insight. We can change the view further if we'd like. We can filter back, or we can reverse back to what we were looking at originally. We can drill into any of the columns or any of the rows. We can change how we sort and filter the data all in real time against the cubes. And we can see that data. Right now we're looking at a 12-month lag over the previous 12 months. We can swap rows with the columns. We can drill down into any one of the rows. Right now we're going to drill down into a cost center. And so we're looking at that as compared to all the other cost centers. So we have year over year as a comparison to the aggregate. We can drill down into that report, so we can now see that detail and see that year over year. And so we see now that the trend is down because the end of our spark line is facing down. Very, very powerful. We can look at the top of our data, so the top values or the bottom values. So we can look at our best performers or our worst performers. We can then reverse back, look at our cube as it originally was. We can expand the columns if we want to see more. We can go all the way up to 100 columns if we'd like. So if we want to get a larger picture of the data, or if we just want to narrow it down and see a small snapshot, we can use the top 5 or the bottom 5 performers. We can also expand our rows up to 100 to give us a very nice picture of any measure and dimension combination. Here we see our lags. We can go past 3 months, 2 months, 6 months, 7 months, or 12 months. So we're going to switch this now to the last 6 months. So in effect, the last 2 quarters. So now again, we're seeing the data year over year for the last 6 months compared to the prior year. Again, we see that trend. Last year's trend was up. This year's trend is down against our sample data. Great way to envision or to visualize and understand the data. Again, this is the Web Queuebrowser. We can drill into this for any of our cubes that cover all areas of operations and productivity. Here we can change our date range. Right now we were looking at January 2012 back. I want to switch that to February 2012, and it's the previous 6 months right now. So we can change all this. Again, we can pivot the view. We can swap the columns. Really, literally, thousands, if not tens of thousands of potential reports for each cube in one interface, all available to the power user, the executive, or any end user that you choose to give this capability to. To write these kind of reports one at a time would literally be prohibitive because of the amount of time it would take. But here, literally, in this web environment, we can present you with tens of thousands of insightful reports at the click of a mouse and through a zero-footprint browser environment. Again, we can go down to detail. We can go back to the main report. Really an unlimited number of combinations. It really would take a tremendous amount of time to exhaust all of the potential reports that you could write using the Web Queuebrowser. To further enhance the Pinnacle Business Intelligence Stack, we use Microsoft Sharepoint 2010 and the Performance Point components that are contained therein. Here we have a portal that we've built and created a Behavioral Health Business Intelligence Center where we have clinical performance, financial insight, operations monitoring, human resources, system metadata, and decision support components of our business intelligence stack organized for easy access. This can be utilized by executives and people with proper credentials to access reports, dashboards, scorecards, Power Pivot componentry, new Power View componentry, etc. Here we see all the different kinds of dashboards organized for easy access and easy, secure, web-based viewing. Here we have an example of a dashboard that we're running out of the SharePoint environment that uses geospatial data to organize service information by county, very popular for aggregating and rolling up data geographically and geospatially. Operations monitoring, we have executive dashboards, we have clinical dashboards, we have wait time management dashboards, all of these nicely organized and accessible through the SharePoint environment. We have system metadata for those users who are charged with reporting against the cubes and the Pinnacle data warehouse. We take a lot of the guesswork out of that. We have metadata reports where they can easily go see the cube structure, see which measures are available. Very important, they see the calculations that make up the measures. This is very important for data quality and data lineage. So while the Pinnacle data warehouse takes very little training to use because of its intuitive nature, this helps complete the puzzle for those needing to consume the data. Our metadata reports. We also have quality assurance reports so that the end users know that all the data in the production database and the cubes and the data warehouse all are in perfect sync. We have decision support reports. This is also available to the end users. They can post their own reports that they build, and that's actually a very effective method for providing business intelligence. Here we have a Census Dashboard, for example. The end users built very quickly in just a couple of minutes using drag and drop functionality. Here we have information on census counts. This is completely multi-leveled with drill downs. We're using spark lines to see trends as well as indicators, as we showed earlier, to show the trends for occupancy. Again, very quick, very easy to build, very fast, and very insightful. We'll jump down now and show you some of the other components here in the Business Intelligence Center. Here are an example of some dashboards that we can see with some insightful information. We have an analytic grid as well as some what we call Excel services. In order to build these dashboards, we use the components of SharePoint 2010 and the Dashboard Builder. Here you can see all of the different components that are available to you in the Dashboard Designer inside SharePoint. You can build all sorts of powerful, insightful analytical tools. We have dashboards, scorecards. We have KPIs, which are key performance indicators. We can build filters year to date, last 6 months, last quarter. We have indicators, which show states and trends. We also have data sources. We have analytic charts and grids, which we're going to show are very, very powerful for decomposing data and understanding the data more fully. We can do strategy maps out of Visio. We can do more detailed KPIs. We can bring reporting services components in, as well as Excel services, Power Pivot, and the new 2010 Power View from Microsoft. So very, very powerful environment, very intuitive. As you can see here, we have a lot of content created where we can organize it and we can deploy these dashboards out to the SharePoint portal, and we can provide a secure method for end users to see that. So right now we can see quite a few dashboards here. Let's see, we'll go ahead and we can open one of these. This one has an analytic grid and an analytic chart attached to it. One is called a client count analysis, and one is a provider analysis. And we're going to show a little bit about how those can be used effectively. You can see also in this environment that you have access to all of your different business intelligence components. It's a very rich palette. This probably isn't so much for the end user, but it could be for the power user or for those who are charged with developing performance for business intelligence in your organization. Again, very easy to use with the Pinnacle data warehouse and the cubes. So here we're going to pull up this dashboard. We're going to have an analytic chart, and an analytic grid. And you can see here, they look pretty simple at the beginning, but they're very rich and very deep. We can drill down on these charts and change the charts in real time, and we can drill down to any level that is exposed through our OLAP cubes. We can change the measures, for example. So right now we're looking at distinct client count by cost center, but we can certainly change that. So you can see the real flexibility. Again, literally thousands of dashboards in one is what this represents. We can add additional measures, so we'll add provider hours, we'll add let's see, some client hours to this dashboard. So now you can see that will update to reflect those changes. All against the cube. Now you can see all of those measures that we've selected. We can click on the column heading, we can filter those, and we can apply some intelligence to those, or we can click on the first cell and do some powerful filtering. So we want to see just our top 10 performers there. Okay, instantly returns results. There's our top 10 performers by provider hours. Now we want to decompose that data, and we want to see what's behind it, and we want to browse through the cube. All of this, again, provides us deep insight into the data, doing things that literally would have taken much longer using traditional methods. So here you can see the Silverlight decomposition tree viewer. We want to take our outpatient hours, we want to break it out by fiscal year. We're now looking at location cost center. We want to look at agency location by fiscal year. We can drill down the hierarchy, all in real time at the speed of thought, only possible because of the cube technology, where the data is at your fingertips and instantly available. Running this against any sort of a relational database would not provide the same amount of speed and flexibility. Again, as fast as we can think about it, we can develop queries against the decomposition tree. Here's an analytic chart. We can do the same thing with the analytic chart. We can say, look, I only want to see the top 10. We can actually change this to see the top or the bottom 10. We can modify this by count, percent, or sum. And we can look at any of the measures we have selected. Right now we just have provider hours, but we could have easily brought more. So with that chart changes dynamically, we have insightful mouse overs. And again, we can change that report if we want to. We can change it to a pie chart. If we'd rather, export it to Excel, export it as a TIFF, email it to somebody, publish it. We can change the measures, and of course we can always show the details. We can drill down right to the crosstab details of the cube behind it, which is often very insightful, and export that to Excel. Or we can understand the data more fully, again, by looking at our decomposition tree. All user self-service, no forms to fill out, all can be done very quickly, very easily. The user experience is completely redefined with the Pinnacle BI stack when we integrate it with the Microsoft BI platform and the BI tools. Very fast, very easy, very insightful. The Pinnacle Health Informatics Business Intelligence Stack is fully integrated into the Profiler environment. It eliminates IT as the choke point in producing business intelligence. It gives instant return on investment, and it's an easy, intuitive user experience. The Pinnacle Enterprise Data Warehouse includes OLAP cubes for all of your business processes, and it provides you with deep, insightful business intelligence.